The Russian army continues its victorious offensive in almost all directions of the front. Simultaneously with this, Russian intelligence continues to successfully identify and destroy the places for the deployment of the so-called foreign mercenaries, many of whom are active duty soldiers and officers of armies of NATO member states. So, over the past 24 hours, more than 30 missile strikes have been carried out on the territory of Ukraine. At the same time, it is reported that all these missile strikes were combined in high precision, indicating that the Russian military knew exactly where to strike. Against this backdrop, many military experts and analysts from numerous Western think tanks have stated that the Russian army will step up offensive operations in all key front areas during the next 20 days. In addition, the intensity of missile and bomb attacks on the positions of the Ukrainian army and NATO forces will also grow rapidly. Many Ukrainian telegram channels also expressed confidence that by January 20th, when Donald Trump takes office, the Ukrainian army will lose a significant part of the territories in almost all directions of the front. And judging by the incoming information from the battlefield, these assumptions were fully grounded. So, a few hours ago, war correspondents reported that Russian Marines from the elite 155th Brigade of the Pacific Fleet had liberated the settlement of AGRONOM, east of the town of Sudzha. It is reported that Russian Marines attacked the positions of the Ukrainian army in this settlement on the morning of December 30th. According to war correspondents, the strafing attacks by the Russian Marines proved to be so effective and devastating that 70 Ukrainian soldiers from the 61st Separate Mechanized Brigade of the Ukrainian army voluntarily left their positions and fled towards Sudzha. Simultaneously with this, the assault units of the group of troops under the designation Sever also liberated the settlement of Cherkasskaya Konopelka, which is also located east of Sudzha. War correspondents noted that paratroopers from Transbaikalia stormed this settlement. By the way, these paratroopers are rightfully considered one of the most powerful assault units of the group of troops under the designation Sever. It is reported that Russian paratroopers liberated Cherkasskaya Konopelka on December 30th, at 3 p.m. Moscow time. Later, a video was shown where you can clearly see how one of the Russian paratroopers is hoisting the airborne forces flag in the center of this settlement. According to the Russian military, over the past 24 hours, the Ukrainian army has lost 320 soldiers and 20 units of heavy equipment in the Kursk region. In addition, cases of mass desertion of Ukrainian soldiers have also begun to be recorded in the Kursk and Sumy regions. In particular, the commander of one of the units of the Chechen Spetsnaz Akhmet, a lieutenant colonel with the call sign Hades, officially announced that on December 29, all Ukrainian soldiers from the 41st Separate Mechanized Brigade refused to go into battle in the Sudzansky district of the Kursk region and fled with weapons to the Kharkiv and Sumy regions. Against this backdrop, the Ukrainian General Staff and its NATO military advisors were forced to send several platoons of so-called foreign mercenaries into battle. As a result, all of them were destroyed with the help of Russian artillery and FPV drones. It is noteworthy that the Ukrainian and NATO generals plan to send these foreign mercenaries, consisting of active duty soldiers and officers of NATO allied countries, to the Pokrovsk direction of the front, in order to strengthen the 155th Brigade, which received military training in France. However, given the fact that Sudzha is more significant for the Kiev regime than Pokrovsk, it was decided to send these NATO soldiers to certain death in the Kursk region. Moreover, the day before, a mass desertion of Ukrainian soldiers from the 47th Separate Mechanized Brigade was also recorded in the Sumy region. It is reported that the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, General Sersky, plan to transfer them to the Sudza area, where the Ukrainian High Military Command presumably is preparing a new strike on the positions of Russian troops, in order to regain the lost territories. On December 30th, the Russian army's successes were also recorded in the Chasiv Yar direction of the front. In particular, war correspondents have confirmed that the railway station in the northern part of Chasiv Yar came under the control of Russian troops. It is reported that immediately after that, the fighting began to move to the city center gradually. The transfer of the railway station under the control of Russian troops has significantly worsened the situation of the Ukrainian units, as now the Russian army has had the opportunity for maneuvers. Against this backdrop, many military experts have already stated that the Ukrainian army units will have to retreat to the southern part of the city in the coming days. Let me remind you that a few days earlier, soldiers of the 200th Separate Guards Motorized Rifle Brigade of the Russian Army also took control of the Severny microdistrict in the northern part of Chasiv Yar. Thus, as you can see, the process of liberating Chasiv Yar is in full swing. Meanwhile, on the night of December 30th, Russian missile forces, together with the aerospace forces, launched a devastating missile attack on military installations of the Ukrainian army and NATO forces in the Kharkiv, Sumy, and Odessa regions. In total, on the night of December 30th, independent monitoring services recorded about 20 powerful explosions in key settlements of these regions. So, in the Kharkiv region, in the northeastern part of the city of Kharkiv, and the Kupiansk area, Russian missiles hit and destroyed heavy equipment and Ukrainian army personnel. In the Sumy region, near the settlement of Stepanovka, the Russian military destroyed several facilities, where dozens of Western infantry fighting vehicles were located. It is reported that the Ukrainian command planned to transfer these infantry fighting vehicles to the Kursk region. And finally, in the Odessa region, near the town of Razdolnaya, 2 Russian Iskander-M ballistic missiles hit a classified place for the deployment of Ukrainian and NATO officers. According to the Russian military, as a result of this missile strike, 15 Ukrainian officers and 7 French army officers were destroyed. The Russian Defense Department claims that the destroyed French citizens were in the territory of the Odessa region for a reason. It is reported that they were entering flight data into the Franco-British Storm Shadow cruise missiles, also known as SCALP.